Since the lockdown began about 20 days ago, we have seen the farming community actually struggling to stay afloat since their business really rely on selling their products to hawkers, to street vendors, to hotels and to restaurants across the country. And today we actually are zooming our focus onto the avocado farming community. Here in Mpumalanga, we've seen Halls is actually one of the biggest exporter and one of the biggest producers of avocado. So we're going to speak to Mark Baker, who's the operational manager at Halls here in the Lowveld. Mark, we're going to speak quickly about like how has this lockdown actually affected business for you guys as a farming community here in the Lowveld. How has it affected farming here and especially for Halls?
Morning to you, and thank you for coming out to visit us on the farm. Locally, it's been tough going. Fortunately, our business is diversified, and about 65% of our produce goes overseas, and we market the balance locally. The restaurant and hawker business has been really tough and very stagnant. But fortunately, in the last few days, we've seen that pick up. We've seen hawkers being able to get permits to trade, and the vendor and that informal sector is now taking off, which it is deserved, and that it's really needed at this point in time.
Mark, talk to me about, you guys export a lot. You say about 60% it's actually exported to Europe and it's exported to the Americas. Talk to us about, has that affected business? Has that affected you guys exporting the goods internationally? Because we know at first products could not move swiftly, and then is it easy, especially exporting to far-flung areas in the Eastern Europe and all those kind of areas?
So the logistics chain has worked well, and there hasn't been many interruptions around shipping and that sort of stuff. But some of the early varietals that we pick are all greenskin avocados, which are not sought after in Europe. So there's been a lot of pressure in Europe on the greenskin varietals, and so sales have been slow. And also there, the restaurants and that sector of the business has been really just choked up, eh? And so right now, it's starting to gain a bit of momentum with the different varietals coming, the Hass avocado, which is sought after by the supermarkets. And so we're seeing trade really beginning to pick up now and bigger volumes starting to move through the business.
And then obviously local market, we talk about restaurants are closed, and the hawkers also, they had like that stand of the government where they were not selling because they didn't have permits. Talk to me about the pricing, because obviously now there's a lot of supply, there's a lot of there's a lot of supply because restaurants are closed and the hawkers, not all hawkers are actually on the street, but there's like a lot of demand. Is this going to change the pricing of the avocado? Because we understand in February we would pay like about 25 rand, rather 50 rand to 55 rand for 2 avos.
Well, fortunately for the hawkers, they're looking around about 5 rand a kilogram, which is about 4 or 5 avos in a kg. So they're paying 5 rand a kilogram, which is really fortunate. So they can come and purchase big volumes and really make a nice little margin through the business. So prices have come down, and it is a lot more affordable for the hawkers to be purchasing avocados this season, much more affordable.
Are we going to see the prices going down, especially in the supermarkets, because that's where the prices are actually higher, and now that the supermarkets are also trading, are we going to see that coming down? And also in terms of export, are you going to reduce the prices to export the products, because also if the price have to come down, it means it has to come down for everyone?
So locally, there's a lot of pressure on the pricing. As someone like myself going to the supermarket and seeing the sort of prices we're having to pay, they are high. And I think there's a lot of resistance just around price. People would rather be looking at tomatoes or potatoes or those sort of essentials rather than the really nice nutritional super fruits. And we as farmers would like to see that pricing more attractive to the consumer, so that we can move more volumes through that chain and still have a sustainable business going forward. Overseas, pricing has been under pressure, and because globally it's a well supplied here, and so we're just hoping that the prices are going to hold out, but the prices are under pressure and they're coming down.
Okay. Mark, thank you so much for speaking to us. That was Mark Baker. He is the operational manager here at Halls, talking to us actually about the farming community and how has this thing have affected them, and how has it the lockdown affected the business operation of farmers across the country, because it's not only avocado farmers that actually have been affected by the pricing and by the prices of their products going down or going up because of the lockdown, but it's also been affecting to actually a lot of farmers across the country, especially those who have to export their products to Europe and to neighboring countries. Back to you.